Carolyn McCardle, public address announcer for your San Francisco Giants, and you're listening to Forever SF Giants.
Forever SF Giants. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us to another podcast episode. We're live and we want to see you in the chat. So get in there, show some support. I'm sure just like us, you are struggling with digesting this frickin' season where the Giants' current record is 61-67. They just lost another series to the Padres, ending their season record with the DUDS at 3-10. They're the only team in Major League Baseball to not have 10 wins after the All-Star break. Christian, I've peppered it up. Bring the salt, baby. Bring the salt.
Man, I got salt like the mountain of salt in Redwood City.
Links go.
First, I want to start out by just saying, all the high hopes we had for the season and how great it started, and it seemed to go all the way up until the All-Star break, and then the little sputters and the little stumbles and the little injuries started to happen. But man, I think the worst part of all of this is I'm watching a team that just isn't playing with any pride or energy. Like there's nothing. They're just flat. And we've said many times, like, this team is better. The parts, they're better than this. They're playing like crap, and playing like crap. It's so disappointing, and I'm sure they're disappointed in themselves. Look at where they were tied for first earlier this year, tied for first with the Dodgers. Now they're, in the bottom of everything, the bottom of the wild card, and there's a lot of fundamental issues that were going wrong with this team early. But lately, it just seems like they've just lost the desire to fight. I mean, that's what it looks like. I'm not there. I don't know, but it looks bad.
I've been fielding text messages and in-person discussions on the regular for the last couple of weeks. People keep wanting me to give the opinion, what is happening? Is there a single thing to point at? What is going on and why? And is it all Bob Melvin? Is it Pat Burrell? Why is this? Is it the ballpark? Is that why they're striking out? Because the walls are too far back, so they strike out, so they don't have to worry about hitting it. I think you and I are on the same page, but I don't know what it is. I don't think there's a single thing, but my guess is Bob Melvin has seen his last year as a Giants manager, and whether he's the reason or not, change needs to happen. And I think Buster's a class act where he's not going to get rid of him during the season. I kind of don't see that. But I think when the season's over and they're below 500 after getting a Devers, after, kind of like having the high expectations, being one game behind the Dodgers and like really thinking we had a postseason run ahead of us, this has been such a disaster and such a disappointment, really, right? It's like, it's just super frustrating because you're sitting there going, Devers shows it today, right? He hits a blast. The guy's got power. He's a good hitter. We're lucky to have him. So I want to put him aside for a minute because everybody seems to be targeting him, since it's a coincidence that once we got him, that's when we started losing. But when you got Schmitt playing third base, and I love Schmitt, but he made an error in every game of the Padres series that cost us runs. And this is what you miss when you don't have Chapman over there. And then, you could say, well, Casey got used to playing second base and now he's not used to playing third, whatever, the throws, this and that. I just want to see, like you said, Christian, better team. This is a better team than what they're playing, and they need to just end this year with pride and say, we're going to play our best no matter what place we're in. Frickin' Diamondbacks are ahead of us now. This is ridiculous. And let's get our ass in gear. Chardall, what's up, my friend?
Yeah. Well, we can start at the top with Bob Melvin, because I've been kind of giving this some real thought over the past couple of weeks. And what I sort of was forgetting until it just occurred to me, it's like, Melvin never really had a solid playoff run in Oakland the entire time he was there. And I mean, that's no fault of his. Every year he had a completely different roster. They were shipping guys out, bringing guys in every single season. But then he inherits a roster in San Diego that's loaded, stacked. That Padres team was stacked. And what do? They finish at 500. So you start to see it a little bit. And then Melvin's here, and last year he's under the thumb of Farhan, and he's maybe not being allowed to manage in the fashion that he's accustomed to. Then Farhan's gone and Buster's in, and things seem great for a couple of months, and then it just all of a sudden starts going to shit. I do think that Melvin is out of touch with this generation of players. That's the only thing I can think of that's really, sorry, my popsicle's melting all over the place. I feel like there's a disconnect there. This little, whatever this conversation Adamas and Melvin had in the dugout last night. It seemingly looks like nothing to me too, but who knows what's going on,
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I don't know, and I don't think any of us do, is what happened. And I think this is where Ramos got into trouble. We can talk about this as well. Christian's said it real good. The first rule of, talking to the media is you don't talk to the media, especially when you're losing and they're asking you difficult questions about how frustrated you are and this and that. But I think what Ramos was trying to do was stick up for Melvin. And the thing that we don't know, and that's what he said, you guys don't know what happens behind closed doors, is like, does Melvin turn into a different guy when he's out in front of, he's calm and collect because he's in front of the media and he's trying to be a professional, but behind closed doors, maybe he's a lunatic. Like, we don't know, but it looks like he's kind of a mellow dude that maybe is a little passive on some of this stuff. And then obviously by like not benching his players very often when they make, mistakes and stuff, there hasn't been the kind of discipline that we as fans maybe we think should have happened when a Ramos is kind of just airheaded. Maybe they should give him the day off to like make him really think about that instead of just be like, oh, it's okay, you'll play tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, look, you're the guy who's championed Jung-Hoo Lee as a leadoff guy all year, and you've been 100% correct. And then you look at like Jung-Hoo gets red hot again. They go on this road trip, and he's really come to life, right? And where is he in the lineup? He's fifth, he's seventh, he's moving around, and then he gets to lead off one day, and then the very next day he's back in like the sixth spot. It's like, what is going on, man? Like, this is not some intricate game of chess where it's like every day I have to put a guy in a different place in the batting order because I know that strategically. That's all bullshit, man. That's all bullshit. You got 9 guys, and pretty much where each one of those guys fits in that list. Okay,
100%.
A couple parts are interchangeable, but there's some guys. It's like there's a reason that this guy should be my leadoff hitter every single game that he plays. And Jung-Hoo Lee has been that guy. So for the fact that the majority of the year he is not let off, I think has been a detriment to the team. I just think Melvin's made some weird decisions, and I don't think it's as bad as Kapler, and I've certainly seen worse with other clubs, So, I mean, we can't lay all the blame at Melvin's feet, but I do think that he's handled pitchers a little odd this year, and I do think that maybe there's just some kind of a disconnect between him and the players, and maybe he's just too old. I mean, we sort of had a little bit of this conversation last time where it's like we're talking about guys like Bochy and Washington and and Melvin to an extent, where it's like these dudes are getting on in age, and these young kids coming up, it's like a whole different world. It's a whole different culture. They're into social media, they're into video games, they're into all this shit that never would have flown 20 years ago, right? And maybe managers have a hard time figuring out how to navigate that. So there's that. That's the Melvin angle, I guess.
Well, I think for me, what it is also on top of what you just said is that the last few years, we've had a team that wasn't an everyday lineup. So this year, going into this year, our goal was we have Adames now. He's going to play shortstop every day. We have these guys that are going to play. We're not used to this. Before it was like lefty versus righty, righty versus lefty. But now we're having everyday guys, like at least 6 in the lineup. The problem is you're still shuffling them all over the place. So it's like we got the everyday players, but they don't know where they're batting. It's like you had Jung-Hoo Lee everywhere from I think he even batted 9th at sometimes. He was 9, 8, 7, 6, and 1 and 2. So it's like Adames is batting 2, 3, 4, 5. Devers is batting 2, 3, 4. Ramos is 1, 5.
Chapman batting cleanup the majority of the year.
That's the only thing that stayed consistent, and it was the thing that needed to change.
It was wrong.
Yeah. So it's been frustrating, and obviously we're all armchair quarterbacks, and it's easy to say after the fact. But I think you look at certain things like that, and you're like, could you just try it? Just try it. Give it a week and see what happens. Let Jung-Hoo Lee lead off versus lefties and versus righties. Have him the leadoff hitter. Get him into a rhythm where maybe he's starting to steal bases now. You're getting hit and runs going, because Ramos isn't a stolen base guy, right? He's batting 263 with 15 home runs. You want that kind of guy batting maybe 5th or something. Jung-Hoo Lee shouldn't be a home run guy, trying to hit the ball out. He should be slapping the ball, going the opposite way, bunting, getting line drives, doubles, triples. That's his game. So when you have the players positioned for that, success is going to be a better chance.
Yeah. Well, look, it just doesn't pass the eye test. Right. And I'm not sure what bothers me more, the platoon system of yesteryear of Kapler and Farhan, where it was every day it's a different lineup because we got to try to go for these matchups and all this crap, or this where it's okay, I got everyday guys, but I'm not going to play them put them in the same batting order every day. Why not? I mean, you got to identify. I think we've been talking about this for a couple of years now, about identifying what people's roles are, so that they know what their roles are, and then you don't keep changing it on them all the time. I mean, every spot in a lineup has a distinct purpose, right? You want your guys up front. You want good on-base guys, preferably good on-base guys with good running ability, okay? Then you want some big bats behind them to try to get them in, right? Then you got the guys that, are good at kind of mopping up the guy who hits a double and knocks in 2 runs. And now the next guy comes up in the 5 or the 6 hole and gets a base hit, brings in that extra run in the inning, right? These are all very defined roles. And you put your worst hitter in the 8th spot. And then you put a guy in 9th with a little thump just for when the lineup turns over. But this is not a real hard equation. We're not talking about 44 batting spots, right? We're talking about 9. So it's that part's frustrating. And then, look, the Giants are tied for second to last in the major leagues for batting average. They have the exact same team batting average as the Chicago White Sox. And the only team worse than them and the Chicago White Sox is Cleveland, which is shocking. Cleveland should definitely not be that low on batting average with the guys they got, but they're having a terrible year.
Right.
So yeah, Melvin, I kind of wanted to defend him, a lot. And then lately it's just been harder and harder, because I just feel like when it's gone this sideways from where it was just a couple months ago, that's got to land on somebody's shoulders. Obviously the players got to perform. They got to turn in the performances, but the manager has a lot to do with motivating these guys, right? I mean, they got to self-motivate, and then they got to have somebody to give them an extra kick in the shorts. So I doubt he's around next year.
Yeah, I think unless a miracle. The only thing too, though, about replacing a manager is I don't want to replace him just to replace him.
No,
we need a better manager. So if there's a better person available that they can bring in, okay, but don't just fire him because we need to make a change and then we end up with someone worse. That's unacceptable. So, and I'm pretty sure Buster's in tune with those thoughts, but man, today I got some news that just frustrated the hell out of me on top of all this win-loss stuff is like, so they bring up Drew Gilbert and they give him pretty much everyday shots and put McRae on the bench. And then today they just sent McRae back to Sacramento and bring back Matos. And it just seems like this revolving door with Matos and McRae that neither of these guys are really getting like a stretch like Gilbert has already gotten. I feel like Gilbert got like 5 days in a row, and I don't think Matos or McRae has ever got that many games in a row.
This year they haven't.
Right.
And this feeds into something that I was going to bring up. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. I didn't want the Giants to re-sign Yaz on the arbitration, $10.6 million for 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what re-signing Yastrzemski on that 1 year deal did was it basically marginalized Matos and McRae, okay? And then those guys never got a decent stretch of playing time all year. Then they trade away Yastrzemski, and right field is Tyler Fitzgerald? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler Fitzgerald may have all the speed in the world and can run like crazy, but he's not an outfielder. He's not an outfielder. And so, it's, they didn't give Matos and McRae a chance to prove themselves. Matos a little more than McRae. McRae got almost no opportunity. And then when they trade Yastrzemski away, it's like, oh, well, now we'll bring these guys up and see what they can do. Well, they've been in sack all year. It's like, it's a little late in the season to be giving these guys the, real playing time. What? I don't understand it. So nothing we can do now. That's all done. But it's frustrating when you see that, they just dealt them away at the deadline and left them totally unprepared to deal with the right field situation. Right.
Yeah, it was really weird too. I mean, once they brought Gilbert up, they basically had two lefties. So that's why they put Fitzgerald out there, because he's kind of a platoon player. But if you're going to do this lefty righty thing, which I'm still not 100% sold on, I don't believe in it. I think if you're a good hitter, you should be hitting versus lefties or righties, no matter what you bat. But if you're going to play that game, then clearly you want a right-handed outfielder and a left-handed outfielder so that you can do that. So it didn't make any sense to have Gilbert and McRae, who are both lefties, and no righties. So yeah, bring up Matos, sure, keep up Gilbert, then you got the lefty righty. But as a McRae fan, I just wanted to see more of him. I think he brings the type of excitement that they're hoping Gilbert will bring. I don't think Matos is in that category. I think Matos is more like a gap-to-gap hitter, and maybe he's going to strike out less, hopefully. He's an average defender, whereas Gilbert and McRae are like elite defenders, and they're both a little – I mean, McRae is fast. Gilbert seems to be fast. I haven't seen him too much, but I just want speed, man. I've been calling for it for like 3 years. Like, we just need at least one guy who can get on and steal bases, and that will instantly change the dynamic of the way pitchers handle the rest of our team. So I'd love to see, and I know McRae strikes out and he doesn't get on base as much as, he can't steal bases if he's not on base. I get that, but he's also young and green he got a good chance last year, hit some home runs and did this and that, but I don't know. I feel like his upside is higher than some of these other guys. I know they're real high on Gilbert, and he looks like he's starting to kind of be what he was advertised, which is kind of a modern day Lenny Dykstra, more or less, right? Like a little bulldog that like hits the ball. He's gonna hit it out of the park every once in a while, but that's not really his game. He's trying to hit the ball hard where they're not and get an extra base out of it. And he looks like he plays good defense, which is super important. That play today that Matos ran over and I mean Kipe's like pick it up, like it was just like it can't get. I mean, it can get worse, and we think it can't, and every day it does. So like, let's hit the brakes, reel it back, and start playing better.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to find out what Matos and McRae are really all about. Again, another year that we don't know, that it's still a wild card. And Drew Gilbert, this is all great, whatever. He's got 2 hits. He's got 1 home run. Okay, but so what? It's not, it's kind of like a stopgap. It's like we picked up this guy, let's see what he could do. And then I hear all these people go, oh, well, we should bring up Eldridge now. It's like, no, maybe we should trade Eldridge now and get something that is proven at the major league level. That's what the problem is with so many of these guys that the Giants have in the Sacramento system, is that they've come up repeatedly and just they either haven't been given enough rope to show what they can do, or they can't do it. Like in the case of Luciano, where it's just the guy kills it in AAA, and the second he gets to the major leagues, like, no, sorry, And
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen Luciano. Like, it seems to me like that means they kind of gave up on him as a pro player. So do you think that they're just purposely keep him in AAA, have people forget about his past in the big leagues, and hopefully he just kills it in AAA, and then his value goes up and we can trade him?
That might be the play.
Yeah.
It might be the play. I mean, he's just never been able to do it at the major league level. And that's, lots of guys are like that in every organization.
David VR.
But yeah. So, yeah. And then, the other thing that's been going on that I don't understand the hitting approach. I don't understand like Jung-Hoo Lee has speed, and yet he seems like he's anchored to the bag when he gets on base. Like he's afraid to steal. And it's like, what, dude, you should be going. And the only time he's going is when it's a full count with 2 outs. He's fast.
Yeah, I think this is what happens when a team starts really losing and they just start thinking like, I just can't make a mistake. I can't get out. And then it like limits what they're willing to try and do, which is just the opposite of what you want to do. You got to be loose and free and keep it going and snap out of it. You got to just stay the path. Reps. You're going to break out of this. But if you change your whole demeanor and everything, that's where you get stuck in these ruts. I can't believe that they're the only team that hasn't won 10 games since the All-Star break. I mean, this is I don't remember a lot anyway, but I don't remember a run this bad. This is a bad run right now.
Well, that home losing 16 out of 17 or 15 out of 16 was a franchise record. So we weren't wrong when we thought that had never happened before.
Yeah. Dude.
And it's just, it's one thing if you go on like an 8 or 10 game losing streak because just nothing's falling your way and everything's going wrong and you got guys hurt. And, that's one thing. But to have a run that bad of home games, that's unheard of, and the fact that the fans are still showing up every day. I mean, that says a lot more about the fans than it says about this team right now and the way they're playing right now, right? That the fans are still willing to show up and watch horrible baseball because let's be honest, they've been playing horrible baseball,
Yeah.
And today it's like they jump out to a 2-run lead, should have been 4, but Ramos keeps hitting into double plays and screwing up. Right. And it's like, Yeah, and then the Padres get on Verlander, and all of a sudden a 6 spot gets coughed up, and it's like, well, there went that, and the game was over, and it felt like it was over the second the Padres took the lead. I mean, that's how bad it's been.
That's what it's getting to, right? It's kind of like in the beginning, we were coming back and winning these close games, and we never were out of it, and we had this vibe. And somewhere that vibe just went cha-chink, and now it's like you're behind. You're like, oh, we lost. And I feel like that's how the pitchers feel. Like if I give up 1 or 2 runs, we're gonna lose.
We're
I
done.
think there's that kind of pressure on them.
Yeah, totally.
You don't want that.
Yeah. Well, the first game of the season proved the point that I've hammered home a ton of times, is that you have to score runs in more than 1 inning in a game. You can't just score unless you put up double digits in 1 inning. You have to score in multiple innings of a game. The first game of series, prime example, the Giants put up 4 runs in the first inning, right? 3 home runs. They don't score another run. They don't even sniff a run the rest of the way. And the Padres get within 1, and they're threatening to walk it off in the 9th. That is terrible. You're striking out more than any other team over the course of a game. You're leaving more runners on base than almost any other team. You're going, 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. This is not a winning formula. It's not. And I think we're delusional if we think that it is, I mean, and you look back over the season, like you think, did the Giants ever really play great baseball this year? Yeah, they did. They got a lot of baseball gods luck, whatever you want to call it. They had a lot of stuff fall their way. They also had a lot of stuff not go their way. But I think that they weren't playing like a World Series caliber team the whole year, and suddenly everything fell apart. It's like they were kind of floundering even when they were winning. They weren't dominating, I guess, is what the point is. And
I think we were all waiting for, like, you always see teams go up and down and have their lows and have their highs. And when the Giants were kind of doing this, you're like, they still haven't got into that streak that every team gets to. And they just never hit it. I'd be curious to see what their biggest winning, consecutive win streak was, because I don't think it was, I'd say 5, maybe at the most, 5 or 6 if they're lucky.
I think 7. I think they had a 7-game streak at one point.
Okay.
So, they found their streak.
A lot in the year they couldn't win 3. It was like you win 2 and then you're losing for sure.
Right, but they kept winning series,
Right.
So they found their streak. They just found the wrong streak. Ooh. They found the one nobody wants to find, and it. I think the grossest part is that last road trip they went out and they won both of those series on the road after having some real troubles at home. So you thought, okay, they went out on the road, they did the cleanse, they won 2 series on the road. You got to come back with some good vibes from that, right? Playing an easy opponent in the first series back at home. Oh man, like nothing carried over, and things just went from bad to worse, like instantly, So, it's rough. And then the Padres got to use them as a speed bag over the, 7 games, and just was just like,
Well, here's an interesting stat that I saw too, was going into today's game, Fernando Tatis had 25 stolen bases. The entire Giants team had 56.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, this is kind of my point, is like having one guy Tatis is all time. For me, he's a top 5 player in all MLB. The guy's, he's great defense, great arm, fast, and has a lot of power, and he steps up in the big moments. This is the type of guy you want to build your team around. So they don't come a dime a dozen. I understand that. But you look at the Padres and you got Machado, one of the best third basemen in the game. You got Tatis, who's arguably the best at wherever they put him in the game. And, they got a great bullpen, and their starting pitching is I think that might be their weakness.
Yep.
But then they pick up O'Hearn, they pick up Miller. They get the bullpen only gets better. They get more bats. They got
they
Arias.
got Laureano, and
yeah.
then
And
the Sheets kid is like, I don't know if they should be giving him a piss test, but Gavin Sheets has been lights out, just destroying it. And then, look, it's Tatis is the kind of guy that every team would love to have. I mean, he's the guy that if his home run numbers are down, he's being super productive in other ways, getting base hits, getting stolen bases, get doubles. He's hitting sacrifice flies when that's what they need. Like, the guy is just such a well-rounded, high performance player, and like you say, he's top 5 in the league. I totally agree. Tatis is a monster. The Giants need a monster like that, because Tatis is really like sort of a 5 tools guy. He does it on both sides of the ball. His attitude after the first couple of years where he was kind of a punk and there were some issues and stuff, they got that all worked out. And now he's one of the greatest guys in the game right now. I'd take him over Judge. I'd take him over Trout. I'd take him over. There's a lot of guys I wouldn't even consider if he was available.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely, I don't know if he's the number one, but he is definitely a guy I'm thinking about. If I'm starting a team and I can pick from everybody, I'm probably going to, he's young enough too, where he's got plenty of time ahead of him. I'll tell you this, we talked a little bit about this, and it's Juan Soto getting the payment he got to not make the All-Star game. And if the Mets collapse and don't make the playoffs, this is a huge story in the making for me. So look, baseball, as Marty Lurie loves to say, it's all about the stories, and the stories develop and all that kind of stuff. And there's tons of stories left. And we might even have a story or two left for the Giants. If we play the Dodgers 2 more series and we somehow turn out of this and start winning, we could knock some people down. We can knock some people out. There's options. And then just to end the year, like you said, with your head up high and have some pride, play your best brand of baseball, and get people pumped for what the future is going to bring. Hopefully the offseason has some good moves. Hopefully, I don't know what they're going to do, but I know they're going to do something. And Wilmer and Yaz were probably going to be gone after this year, and Yaz is already gone. They might bring Rogers back. I mean, I'd love for them to do that. We need to strengthen our bullpen a little bit more, which would be fine. But they need to figure out right field. I think that's like one of their biggest. I used to think second base was the problem after they got rid of Tyro. But I think right field is much more of a concern. So maybe somebody in the chat earlier said, I'd love to see Gilbert and Matos just play for the rest of the season. Maybe that's the plan. And then maybe you got Schmitt at second base, and figure out first base. I don't see the problem with Devers at first base. He looks pretty good to me now.
Yeah.
He had a little squirm, but the guy hadn't played in the field at all year. Yeah. So no matter where you play him, he's probably going to be a little rusty. He's making picks. He's got a great arm. I don't mind him at first. I think the issue truly is Devers, as Buster Posey said, is a dude. But is Bryce Eldridge a dude? So what is Bryce going to do when he is good enough to come up? If we already got a dude at first base and that's his position, are they going to just rotate at first and DH and do that song and dance? I don't know, but that's the only area where I'm like, people think we're crazy to even mention trading Eldridge, but if the price is right, I'm throwing the dice.
I would. I think I'm even more of that mind now than I would have been when the season started, when everybody was touting Eldridge as the next greatest thing that was going to happen in baseball. Like, okay, but He's got his value's high. The Giants need things, right? And this whole idea that now we're going to start stacking up a bunch of guys who are like pretty much DH material because their defense isn't all that great. What are you going to do? You can only use one, you know? So Eldridge for the right price, the right exchange, why not? You know, if somebody wants him that bad, they're going to give up some real talent for him. Do it. I mean, nobody really cried about Zach Wheeler until a couple of years ago when Zach Wheeler had a career year in Philly, and everybody went, "Oh man, that's right, we traded him." We did a long time ago, right? And it took years for him to become the guy that he is with other organizations. So if you're going to point to Zach Wheeler and go, "Dude, we can't trade Eldridge because look at Zach Wheeler," that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You can't, once you commit to that, if you know you're getting the better end of the deal and you're getting the better talent, you do it and you don't look back. That's it.
Yeah, I think what they have to do is really evaluate the team's needs. Like, we're not going to just trade a player for a better player. We need to trade a player for a better player that fits in a position that we are in need of.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that's outfield. And I don't know that, I love Elliot Ramos, but nobody's safe. If they can upgrade, they need to upgrade. And that is all across the board. I'll tell you this. You think that Eldridge is blocked? Well, I'll tell you, Chapman and Adames are more blocked than Eldridge. And all these people saying just DFA Adames or trade Chapman, it's like no brains. This is like the no brain area where just idiot squads just spout. And it's like, I got no time for that stuff. We have a great third baseman that strikes out a lot. We have a great shortstop that strikes out a lot. But Adames is second in all of baseball, I believe, with home runs as a shortstop. And Chapman is, he's been hurt this year. Like, he's been off and on the IL, but he brings great defense and he actually steals bases. I think he's one stolen base behind Jung-Hoo Lee for the lead on the team. And he's, the problem is, why don't these guys hit in the clutch? Why is it such an issue with runners in scoring position? This is clearly our biggest weakness. It's like kryptonite for these guys. No matter who's up, they're going to strike out. It was like, it started maybe last year, but I remember, Christian, you would text me and you'd be like, bases loaded, here comes a strikeout. Like,
yeah, bases loaded, no outs.
Yeah, it's just in the cards. And that needs to be changed. That the minute the season's over, they need to go full throttle on approach and figuring out how to get these guys more comfortable with runners in scoring position, better approach in their mind, whatever it is. I don't know, but that needs to change like a lot.
Yeah. The culture around their situational hitting is just it can't get any worse. And this has been going on for quite a while. So even though there's been a changing of the guard with coaches like Bam Bam and then whoever was coaching and now Pat Burrell, something is getting lost in the translation between what we teach and what you execute on the field. I mean, they just seem incapable of doing it. And you watch other teams play, dude, they get guys on, they get those guys in. There's not even a question, I mean, there's a couple of teams around the league that struggle with it, maybe not quite as bad as the Giants, but they're pretty bad at it. But then, your average team is like two guys on, one out. Both those guys are coming in. They're going to find a way to make it happen, right? And the Giants, is like, they can load the bases with no outs, maybe score one run. Maybe. That's just not.
And how do they score the run? Elliot Ramos hits into a double play.
Right.
It's not even an RBI, but they score the run. It's like, dude, I mean, it's just so bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, they really got to figure that out. And then, I think part of the problem is you just got certain guys that just aren't hitters. Patrick Bailey is not a hitter. He's not.
Hasn't
He's not.
been this year.
Yeah. Fitzgerald just is not a hitter.
I mean, Patrick Bailey may, at the end of the year, have the most exciting play of the year off of his bat, but that was one play. And the rest of the year, he had a lot of, bat on the shoulder, call strike 3. Like, how often? That was 3 times in one game he did that. It was like, it's just, and I don't understand how it always is Patrick Bailey up in the 9th inning with runners in scoring position and the game on the line. Like, it always is. Like, for me, I'm like, dude, we got to move Bailey to a different order. Like, what if he's batting 8th, put him 5th or something. Like, he can't be up at the end of the game anymore. This is too crazy. So
it's, and his defensive skills behind the plate may start to lose their relevance if the ABS comes in, right?
Because that ABS is coming with the umpires, the way they've been calling games lately. It's making me mad. It's made you mad for years, but I was always a little more lenient. This year, it's just been horrible all across the board. Awful. Every game, there's at least 3 pitches that are so clearly either a strike or not a strike that are called the opposite way. It is like, I mean, today, Peguero, he got a walk because there was a strike 3 and they didn't call it. It was right there. It was like, oh, my God. Yeah. And by the way, big shout out to Joel Peguero. He made his MLB debut today out in San Diego. He pitched 2 innings, didn't give up any runs. He was averaging 102 on the speed gun. This is a guy I saw in preseason that was like, okay, he's not ready yet, but this guy looks like he could be a nice piece. If he could replace what Randy Rodriguez was before he got bumped up to closer, I don't think we lose a step. He's gonna be green. He's gonna make some mistakes, and once people start, counting on that fastball, he's gonna have to throw some other pitches. But this guy looks exciting, and that adds some hope for futuristic Stoke, right?
Yeah. Not only that, but I think he is a little green, but this is the perfect time to bring him up and see what he's got, because the pressure is not as great now with this year winding out. There's 40 games left. Okay. Like, this is the perfect opportunity to get Peguero some seasoning at the major league level. I like it a lot.
100%. Me too.
So, and the guy just throws heat, man. It's wicked. It's wicked.
And how sad for Landon Root, because he was our guy. That guy looks like a bulldog out there. He wants it so bad, and he was pitching good, and then he gets on the IL and he comes back, and then he just has an unfortunate situation and gets carted off, and it's just like, man, he's not returning this year, and it's just a bummer because he's trying so hard to be a guy for the future. He wants to be penciled in the rotation, and I think he's right there, but these injuries make it tough. Yep. So I wish the best for him. Hopefully he gets a good, MRI results, and he doesn't have to get some weird surgery or something.
ACL or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's a year, Yeah. From what I saw, I mean, when I tore my ACL, my leg folded in half sideways. So what happened to him looked like he probably just jammed it and probably doesn't feel very good, but I highly doubt he's got any sort of tear that requires surgery. It just didn't look like that. And to me, he's like the second coming of Madison Bumgarner. He's like Bumgarner light in a way.
A little bit, yeah.
Right? Big strapping dude, works quick, doesn't take any shit. Like, I really like him. I really do. And I think he's good. Obviously, he's going to come back next year. I think he's really going to have some fire in his belly, because this year he got cheated a little bit. He got hurt, and then he got hurt again, and didn't get to throw a full season. So I'm looking forward to that. It's not all black, but dude, this running out the string is the worst thing in any sport, right? Garbage time, and we got 40 games of garbage time now. Why?
Remember that stat Larry Bear used to say? We've played 360 games where we're still in it. You know, like there was like only 4 games we weren't in it. Like they had some crazy stat every year. It was like the sellout record. There was these, somehow they pick these stats. It's like in the last 13 and a half innings, you know, you're like, where are you getting these fucking things?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter how much you polish a turd, it's still a turd. And I think that's what the lesson to be learned here is. It's like you could try to gloss us over with a bunch of numbers and interesting, little facts and whatnot. But the reality is, like, the record is the record. The team average is the team average. The team left on base is the team left on base. I mean, just strict statistics is all you really need to know what's up. That's it.
I love this D Boggs comment. Patrick Bailey is a stinker. Just because I can push switch and cruise switch does not mean I can skateboard switch.
Yeah. Do you push better in Mongo or regular?
I love the skateboard analogy. Nice bring it in there like that. Hey, D Boggs, you going to San Jose at all? Because I was just down there yesterday. Didn't check the weather in advance. Luckily, I had shorts on. It was like 97 degrees in the shade down there. And I went down to see Ethan Holiday, who's in town, and they gave him the day off. I'm like, are you kidding me? I got his autograph. I brought a card, and he signed it for me, but he didn't play. So I might be going back Sunday. Johnny Level is on fire, the Giants' top prospect. He's starting to really hit. He plays good defense. He's a little guy. So you look at him and you're like, this guy can't go big, can he? But we'll see. He's exciting. And I've been enjoying my San Jose ball. I got to be honest with you. If the Giants collapse, I can still go to Sacramento and San Jose and have some fun in between. You know, when the Giants go on the road, these guys are usually home. So it's been kind of cool. You see like, Travis down there, Ishikawa coaching and whatnot. And it's weird. Like some days it's packed and it's just this epic, scene. And then I've gone on Sundays and there's like 30 people there. And you're just like, what? Wait, what? Was I not supposed to come today? Like, what's going on? I didn't get the email.
Is there any shade at that ballpark in the seats or no?
That's the problem.
You got to bring the Bain de Soleil for the Saint-Tropez tan, dude.
What you got to bring is $5 cash and buy yourself a churro. They do not take credit cards. It's cash only, and it's the best churro you'll ever have. I promise.
How rad is that? It's cash only.
Everything else
anymore.
Everything else has no cash.
Dude, cashless
but he's
is the
like
worst.
Cash only.
Yeah, the last time I was at Oracle, it's just like, and they started doing that a couple of years ago. I know, because I went to a game with my dad, and it was like, well, your money's no good here, dude. That's all I got is money. I'm not gonna like heat up my credit card for $140 worth of hot dogs. Come on, man.
You should have seen how livid Wade Spire was. He came down to his kid's a big baseball guy. And so he's like, I got to go to SF. And he hates SF. He's like, I'm coming to SF. I'm going to a stupid Giants game. And so he gets to the game and he hits me up and I meet up with him because I was at the game also. And he's like, I want to get the hell out of here. Are you kidding me? They don't take cash. They don't take cash. And he's like losing his mind. I'm just cracking up because I'm used to it. But it is weird that you don't have these options. But
I prefer cash, hard currency, man. Because once they make it all electronic and you can't hold it in your hand anymore, how do you even know what you got? How do you know you're not getting robbed blind? So yeah, it to me, cashless is just a harbinger of like a more controlled population, because then they can debank you and they can lock up your funds like in Canada, right? It's like, oh, you supported the trucker protest? Well, we just froze your bank account.
Yeah,
they did, dude. It's like, what? Really? Canada? Really? I thought you guys were soft. You're a bunch of little fascists. Cool. Anyways, one other issue I want to touch on is that I don't want to see Wilmer Flores swing a bat again this year.
At all, not even off the bench.
No, I don't. He's pinch hit him a couple times in the past couple of games, and he's had one hit in like 6 or 7 at bats. So yeah, no thanks. Especially when
don't-
you're lifting a guy who's like, come on, man. It's like Patrick Bailey coming in to pinch hit with 2 outs in the 9th today. Really? Why? Somehow Patrick Bailey going to come up to the plate with nobody on base and score 4 runs? How's that work?
Yeah, it's something I've been saying for a little bit, which is I just don't want him starting anymore. I'm happy if he comes in in the 7th inning and gets a clutch hit off the bench and then they pinch run for him like they did the other day. I thought that was great. I even called it. He got a hit, he gets to first, and I'm like, the only way this makes sense is if they pinch run for him with McRae. And sure enough, McRae is running out. And I was like, it's finally, like, it's almost the end of the year and you're finally doing like something. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
We need to bring up the Jesus. Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
Nobody fucks with the Jesus. Well, we got a special guest that needs no introduction. But I think I'm going to give him an introduction anyway.
What kind of BS is this? This is some bullshit. This is some bullshit. Bullshit. This is some bullshit, man. What is up with this fucking bullshit?
SF Giants got me stressing, no cap. That's colder than the bay in a midnight draft. Chapman swings, every dancing in the breeze. Billy in the box, but he ain't breaking knees. Red on the mound, paint corners Picasso. Ray throwing heat, hitters ducking like El Chapo. Scoreboard frozen, team stuck in the drought. 9 innings later, same story, no clout.
This is some bullshit.
Orange and black, heartbreak on repeat. They swing and they miss defeat. Taste sweet, gems on the hill, but the bats stay mute. SF Giants, man, what's the dispute?
This is some bullshit.
Ballpark vibes, garlic fries and despair. Fans in the bleachers pulling out their hair. Bullpen shaky, hearts pounding the chest. Closest wild pitch, now the game's a mess. Outfield quiet, gloves stiff to stone. Line drive slowly, got left alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, your friend of mine, Chardal, talk to me. Tell me what is going on, brother.
Yeah, Chardal.
Can you hear? Unmute your guest. Unmute. Why is it muted?
I think we got him. Oh, he turned his camera off.
I think we got him, though. Hello? Oh, technical difficulties. There we go. Look at oh. And here we are.
You got it?
Hi, Christian Schmitt.
What's up, Chardal?
I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel, man. I love your content, man. You grind every day. You put all these great videos for all the viewers to watch, man. I love everything you do, man. Keep up the good work, man. It's a truly honor to be here on here with you.
Thanks, man. We're stoked to have you. What's going on with the team right now? Give it to us. Give us your take.
Man, I don't understand what's going on with this team, man. They're inconsistent, man. They can't score runs, man. Like, I don't understand what's going on with this team, really. Like, they gotta work better on everything they're doing, because
it's driving us crazy. Did you see the video we made with this is some bullshit?
That was funny, man. That was creative, man. That's some talent right there. Somebody got some great talented people out here on YouTube.
You came in with that soundbite. We were like, oh, we got to hold on to this one. This is great.
Man, how are you guys doing, man? What were your thoughts on the loss, man? I mean, it's a heartbreaking loss, man. Like the Padres took 3 out of 4 from the Giants, man. Like, we had a 2-0 lead, and we could have clearly won this game. I mean, this was in our grasp to win it, and we just fell flat on our faces, man. That's what this Giants team has to work on every single year.
Yep.
Every single year, this team got to work on it.
They got a lot of things they need to solve, and like after his last outing, Verlander pitched insanely good his last time out. Today he comes in and he just ran out of gas. The pitch count got up there. and he just came unglued a little bit. And before you know it, they gave up 6 runs in 1 inning. And there was, they managed to scratch 2 back, but you can't just put up 2 runs and then coast and expect to beat a team like the Padres.
I mean, like,
they're going to come at you, man. Like all 9 innings, the Padres are going to come at you.
I mean, the Padres are just a really great baseball team to start off with. They got Manny Machado, they got Fernando Tatis Jr., they got Jay Cronenworth. The Giants were trying to stop them, but when you got a team that's hot like the Padres, man, you can't stop them. I mean, there's no way. I mean, it's really hard to stop a team that's on a hot streak. The Padres, are doing really great, and it's just, as a Giants fan, that just doesn't make me feel good saying that. But I gotta say the truth, right? Like, I gotta speak the truth reality of how this team is performing.
Well,
if not performing well, then am I gonna say the false facts? Am I gonna say the wrong stuff? I'm not gonna say the wrong stuff.
Of course not. And you're right, Chardal. The Padres they're a red hot team. Okay. But I think the most frustrating thing for us as fans is that the Giants are just not even being competitive. They're not playing competitive ball against these teams when it's like, hey, you should get up for your hottest opponent and try to take a little, take a couple bricks out of that wall, right? Like knock them down a little bit. And the Giants have just kind of laid down, and it's just, their shoulders are down, their heads are down. Like nobody looks like they're having fun. Nobody looks like they care. And I think that's the part that for fans, it's just like, what is going on? Right.
I mean, like, if you ask me, I'm an optimistic Giants fan, and I want this team to excel every single year and win a lot of games. But when they're not winning games consecutively, it like, you lose optimism in the team, right? You become less optimistic that this team will not make a big run.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you're always going to back them. It's just frustrating when you're backing the team so hard. You're always going to back them, and then when they're playing ball that they just should be playing better ball and they're capable of playing better ball, you just sit there and question, why aren't they? I think that's the hard part.
I mean, this was a heartbreaking loss because the Giants lost 8-4 to the Padres in Game 4 of the 4-game series. I was really hoping that Giants would win at least 2, but the Padres won 3. So that shows how great of a team they are, because they took 3 out of 4 from this 4-game series.
Mm-hmm.
We only won 1 game, and then the Padres took all the remaining 3.
Yeah, it started out great, and then it just dwindled away. Chardal, do you want to play a little game with me? I got an idea for a little game. You know that Rafael Devers is a dude, right?
Yeah, I know Rafael Devers is a dude.
Okay, so I want to play this game. Is he a dude or is he a dud? And ask you the following players, okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Carson Seymour. Is he a dude or is he a dud?
Carson Seymour is a dude.
Carson Seymour. What about Logan Webb?
Logan Webb is a dude.
Christian Koss.
Christian Koss is the dude.
Luis Matos.
Luis Matos is a dude.
Drew Gilbert.
Drew Gilbert is a dude.
And Bivens.
Bivens is a dude.
All right, they're all dudes, huh? Who don't you like on the squad? Who would you want not to return next year?
I would love to see all the members of the 40-man roster come back next year.
Ah, you're in. Even Wilmer and let's see who else is out there. Hey, I guess Wilmer's the one guy that's, I think he's a free agent at the end of the year, so they'll have to re-sign him if he was to come back.
But I really love what you guys are doing on YouTube. I think you two are the most hardworking people on YouTube right now, making all this content. And I love to be a loyal viewer, man. And I love coming on the show, man, because
I love seeing you. We want to see you more often.
Everything is going good on the channel, man. You know, you guys come on the show either if the Giants lose or the Giants win. You still are passionate about what you do, and that's right. That's what I love about you two.
How's your channel doing? You are getting up to a certain amount of subscribers, right?
I'm at 439 subscribers, so I'm trying to get up to 500.
Get that 500.
So if your viewers can click the like button, smash that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, so it'll be updated next time I go live on my channel. I'm gonna be doing play-by-play for the San Francisco Giants and Chicago Cubs game with Coleman Sports.
Okay.
Long time Cubs fan. He's been on your channel. He's been on your channel.
Maybe we can do a 3-way one of the games. Get us all in there.
And it's gonna be on both of our channels.
Oh.
We're gonna do a simulcast. It's gonna be on Coleman Sports 23 and SGA Sports Talk channel. So we're gonna do a simulcast. Both of our channels. So that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be doing the Cubs and the Giants game on the 26th.
26. Okay, cool.
Very cool.
How often do you guys go live on your channel? I mean, do you go live like once a week, twice a week? How often do you go live and make content?
Pretty much just like we do a wrap after a series ends, you know. So
once a series usually.
Yeah, usually after every series we'll do one.
But I just you know, it's just a really open environment to come on here. I really love talking with you guys. You know, it's just wonderful to be on here with you guys.
Hell yeah. Good to have you. You're always welcome.
Yep.
You know that.
Yep.
I'm always welcome.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, it's a great environment on here, man. Like
uh-oh.
He's got
No question about it, Schmitt. No question.
He's got my style of internet connection when I was up north.
Oh no. Well, it was good having you on the show, Chardal. You're welcome back anytime. Love to see you. That's pretty good for tonight. I think just that last segment got me a little happy. I got out of my rut. I feel like the world's not collapsing like I felt about about an hour ago. We've been on an hour and 3 minutes. So sometimes you just need therapy and you need your bros to come on and vent and tell you it's going to be okay, or just tell you it's not okay, but that's okay. Like whatever it is, we got to get this shit out of us. Get ready for tomorrow because it's another game, new series up in Milwaukee. Kuiper is going to be telling you all about the cheese balls and all the stuff he grew up eating in Milwaukee. So you're going to have stories galore like that, and the ranch down the street and yada, yada, yada. The weather doesn't matter because I think they have a roof there. So that's good. And I don't know. The Brewers are a tough team, man. They could be the National League champions at the end of this year. They're playing really well. So
they won 14. Yeah, they won 14 in a row, but they just split this last 4 games with the Cubs. So you know, maybe the Giants will have an opportunity to do something, say something in Milwaukee, but that's a tough house to go into with a team that hot. You know, you really got to come in with some bad intentions if you want to beat the Brewers. So maybe the Giants will get mad and get tired of losing and get tired of playing subpar baseball, and so maybe the fire will get lit. You know, that's all we can hope for, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at right here. We got the Marlins 1/2 game behind us. We got the Diamondbacks a full game ahead of us. This is starting to look kind of gross. Like the Reds and Cardinals, I thought we were going to be ahead of them too. And I thought
we were.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the year, you got the Cubs, Padres, and Mets in there. And I just got to be praying the Mets don't make it. I don't care who gets in. If it's the Reds, Cardinals, Diamondbacks, I mean, I don't think it's us or the Diamondbacks, but it could be the Reds, and that would be hilarious if Soto doesn't make the playoffs for the new team he's on after he doesn't make the All-Star game. I like that story.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing that everybody was so, now that the Mets got Soto, they're going to be a juggernaut. It's like, no. Soto doesn't make a team a champion, It doesn't happen. I mean, everybody was saying, we need to have him to come to San Francisco. No, we don't. We didn't. And we're glad we didn't. And anybody who thinks we're not glad we didn't should get their head examined. I'll take Devers over Soto all day long.
I like that. I like that. Well, I think that's all we got for this week. Want to give special thanks to Chardal for coming on. Good to see Eddie, D-Boggs, Instant One, and JB. All you guys that came on the chat today and were a part of us live. I know some people don't have the time to do it and they come on later and watch it recorded and usually leave a comment or something. Appreciate all y'all. Let's just keep it going. We're going to just, you know what our title is, right? Forever SF Giants.
That's right.
So we're stuck. We're black and orange till we die. And that's just the way it is. And I don't complain about it. I just was born this way, and that's how we roll. So keep your head up. Let's hope for better days ahead. And we're going to be looking forward to Rumor Mill City as the year starts to kind of dwindle away. You're going to be hearing a lot of hitting coach, managerial, Kyle Tucker. There's a lot of exciting names that we're going to start hearing. And so I'll be excited for any of that over 49er football all day long. So
light the pilot light on that hot stove. The pilot
absolutely. Till next time, what is it? Brewers next. So we'll be probably Sunday at some point, and hopefully we'll have better news to talk about, and probably not though.
It is an unknown equation at this point.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to try to barge our way onto what is it called? The hot corner or whatever, where everybody's just negative Nancy over there, and we could come in with Nego Ned and company and try to stir it up real tough. But
I'd love to get on there and try to out negative those guys for about 5 or 10 minutes. Because I could go there. I can seriously go there.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be great. So we're throwing those feelers out for you, Lou, Cucamongo, Eric, Glenn. We're always available. All we need is the invite.
Curmudgeon crew.
So if you guys want us on there, maybe go over to their channel and start hyping that up, and maybe it'll happen. Who knows? But other than that, I gotta go. Dinner time is here, and I think it's cool enough that I can turn my oven on finally. So stoked on that. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right, we're set to go.
Let's go, San Francisco. Let's go, Giants.
Dude, that was one of the most mind-blowing shows I've seen to this day.
Much love. See you soon. Thank you.
And I am forever a Giant.
Sometimes he was too much analytics. Sometimes he was just out of left field. Wasn't really in tune with the players. Didn't really make a connection with the city. I think they need somebody with more experience.
Boom, boom.